YouTube. Today in the Naughty Librarian, I am doing the Bohemian Rhapsody book tag. I was tagged by the creator of this tag, which is Jen at the Book Refuge. She tagged me probably a few months ago, and I just hadn't got around to doing it till now. Monster, this girl. But I guess, better late than never, right? But before we get into the tag, I do want to do a little unboxing because I actually partnered with Entangled Publishing and they sent me this new release, so I want to kind of open this up. Entangled was kind enough to send me Nothing But Trouble by Amy Andrews, and this one is really cool. It's kind of a sportsy cowboy smutty romance. I'm in. I'll just read you the blurb on the back. It says, "There's no crying in football. For 5 years, Cecilia Morgan's entire existence has revolved around playing personal assistant to the self-centered former NFL quarterback Wade Carter. But just when she finally gives her notice, his father's health fails and Wade whisks her back to his hometown. Cece will stay for his dad, for now, even if that means ignoring how sexy her boss is starting to look in his Wranglers." I mean, I appreciate a cute button jeans too. I get it, girl. To say Cece's notice is a bombshell is an insult to bombs. Wade can't imagine his life without his left tackle. She's the only person who can tell him no, and strangely, it's his favorite quality. He'll do anything to keep her from leaving, even if it means playing dirty and dragging her back to Credence, Colorado with him. But now, they're living under the same roof, getting involved in small-town politics, and bickering like an old married couple. Suddenly, 5 years of fighting is starting to feel a whole lot like foreplay. What's a quarterback to do when he realizes he might be falling for his left tackle? Throw a Hail Mary she'll never see coming, of course. Okay, so there's a lot of sport puns in the blurb. But you know what? I kind of really do like sport romances. I read a bunch of them by J.C. Burton, and they're always funny and delightful and super smutty because they're athletic dudes doing athletic stuff, and something kind of athletic is fucking, so it works out. And Entangled was so nice to not only send me one copy, but they sent me an extra copy. So you know what that means, guys? It means it's giveaway time. The giveaway prize package will be a copy of Nothing But Trouble by Amy Andrews. You'll also get a little koozie that says Nothing But Trouble by Amy Andrews, and an adorable little pig creature, like a little piggy, because there's a little piggy on the back, so I'm assuming there's a pig somewhere in the story. So it's a cool little prize pack. All of the details will be on my Instagram. Go check it out. I am at AmandaVenture. And yeah, follow it, enter, you can win an awesome prize pack. This comes out on April 30th. All right, the giveaway announcement is out of the way. Let's get into this tag. I'll be honest, I got a piece of printer paper and I wrote down the questions because they're very long and I don't want to memorize them. I'm that kid today. Question 1, keep yourself alive. Dystopian book world where the characters are barely getting by. I went with Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, and in this book, it's kind of a world where there are people with red blood and there are people with silver blood. The people with silver blood have abilities, they can control fire or metal, they can cause earthquakes, they got all that jazz. Then you got people with red blood and they're just normal people, and they're kind of getting totally subjugated by these silver-blooded fucks. Our main character is Mare Barrow. She is a red-blooded girl who is just trying to get by. She is a pickpocket. She is just doing anything to try to keep her family going. It's rough out there when you have red blood in a silver blood dominated world. So yeah, you know what? They barely have electricity most of the time. They're having a rough go of things. Definitely the red-blooded people in this world are having a rough time. Number 2, love of my life, a bittersweet love story. You know what? I'm gonna say Chaol and Celaena in Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. Just mainly because it's destined to fail. And they're really good together, and I see why they would make a really good OTP. They have a lot of qualities that I think would work. But ultimately, when you dig a little deeper under the surface, you realize how all those good qualities that would bring them together are ultimately the things that I think would rot their relationship. So it's kind of just, oh man, like you could have had it all, but like it just doesn't work for the same reasons that it does work. And I think it's mainly because it's an issue of needing each other more so than wanting each other. You get what I mean? It's just kind of that thing. They're just destined to fail. Even though they're really good together and they have all these like positive things that I really enjoyed about their relationship, I know it's not going anywhere. Doomed. Number 3, Seas of Rhye, your favorite fantasy world. There's like a lot of fantasy worlds that are really cool, and it's hard to pick one. So I just like picked the first one that I thought of off the top of my head. I went with the Republic of Itria in Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. The whole concept of this world is really interesting because their entire, the land where they live is built upon the body of a fallen god. And I'm like, as far as like fantasy settings go, living in the bones of a fallen god, pretty good. Number 4, We Are the Champions. A book or series where your hero/heroine overcomes the biggest odds. I went with Aeron from The Darkest Passion by Gena Showalter, and I picked it because I know what Aeron has to go through, but if I tell you what Aeron has to go through, it's kind of a spoiler. So maybe this was a bad choice of an answer. But I will just say he has to overcome a lot. Like, just going into the story, Aeron is an immortal warrior who was one of the warriors who opened Pandora's box. Once that happened and all the demons got out, the gods are like, the fuck, bro? So they had to catch all these demons and like, well, we gotta stick them somewhere. So they put demons in these immortal warriors. So he's Aeron, and he's also like the keeper of the demon of wrath. So already he's got a demon living in him. Like, he has some rough things to like overcome just from the onset of the book. His love interest is actually an angel. So, hey, how are these wacky kids gonna work it out? Who knows? At the end of the book, something very drastic does happen to Aeron that does not seem like you can overcome it. It seems like a very final thing, and then through magic and fantasy elements, it gets overcome. So I wanted to say what it was, but I'm just like, oh, as a spoiler, I can't tell you. But yeah, he overcomes some shit in this. Number 5, We Will Rock You, a book or series where the hero or heroine grows the most. I went with Antidarkening by Kiersten White. This is a historical fiction based on historical fact. It is a retelling of the Vlad Dracul story, except in this case, Vlad is a girl named Lada. And this book in particular starts when she is like 5 years old and to the point where she is in her late teens. So aging-wise, she grows quite a bit in this book. Also, like, her character changes quite a bit because Vlad, if you actually get into his history as a child, like, a lot of messed up things happen, especially with the Ottoman Empire. He's basically a prisoner of war as a child. So there's a lot of growing up to do in a very short amount of time. So Lada definitely grows up in very, unusual circumstances and definitely grows and learns and, is starting to become the leader that we expect, a Dracul to be. So definitely, Lada grows a lot in this book in particular, because this is like the most aging she does in the series. Number 6, I Want to Break Free, a hero or heroine who breaks the mold. I went with Josephine from Sweet Ruin by Kresley Cole. This is part of her Immortals After Dark series, and Josephine is literally one of my favorite heroines. She is so great. I love her to bits. She had a rough childhood. She was living on the streets trying to raise her baby brother when she herself was a child, and eventually she has to leave her baby brother in the system because it's the best thing for him, because she literally can't protect him anymore because she gets murdered. She was murdered as a child and could not protect her baby brother anymore. She ends up coming back because she's this weird paranormal creature who's like half phantom, half vampire. So like she got killed, but like it didn't stick. Also, she's super sassy, and I love, like, her cocky attitude. Like, if she was a male character, no one would ever say she's unlikable, but she's a female character. So some people might throw out that unlikable word, which is garbage, because she's super cool. I love her to bits. She's so cool. Number 7, Bohemian Rhapsody, an epic book or series that just goes on, but you can't get enough. Ooh, I went with the Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. I know. It's a great series, and I love it, and I recommend it to people all the time. It's legit great. However, the last book of the series, A Conjuring of Light, is literally the book that never ends. Like, I kept thinking, all right, they're wrapping up. Oh my gosh, there's 125 more pages. How is there still 125 pages left? Like, it just wouldn't end. It's so long-winded. Like, it's good. It's really good, but it's just like, get to the point. Oh my gosh. It was like a weird situation where I was in because, like, I just wanted it to be over. I was getting annoyed that it wouldn't end, but like it's still really good and I appreciated the writing. The writing's incredible. It's just there's too much of it. There's too much of the good writing. There you go. That's the problem with it. Number 8, Killer Queen, a badass villain that has you going, yes, queen! Okay, you know what? A badass villain that would elicit a yes, queen would definitely be Shifeng in Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. This is a Snow White retelling, but this is from the perspective of the evil queen, and it is her story, and Shifeng is such a fascinating villain because, I don't know, she's not necessarily a likable character. You empathize with what she's been through, and you see why she's doing what she's doing, although the things she's doing are evil. Like, she literally rips hearts out of people and eats them. Like, definitely not a likable character. However, her thought process, her cunning, her ambition is so fascinating to read. Like, her twisted little brain and her, like, internal struggle with what morality is, and is she a good person or a bad person? It's really dynamic and interesting and super cool. And you're totally rooting for her the whole time. You're like, yes, betray them, be the empress. And you're like, oh wait, no, don't be, oh no, that's evil, don't do that. But like, I want you to do that. So it's like a weird headspace you get in because you're like, you're rooting for the bad guy. But the bad guy is very easy to root for. It's a weird place you're in while you're reading this, and it's an awesome place to be in too. Number 9, Radio Gaga. Book series or author that is redundant, but you're still here for it. This might be a little controversial, but I've said this before and I'm sticking by my comment. I feel like City of Bones by Cassandra Clare and Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare are essentially the same book. There are very similar storylines here. I said this is modern day New York and this is Victorian era England. Besides that, very similar character structure, very similar story arcs. They're very derivative. Obviously City of Bones came out first, so Clockwork Angel, quite derivative of City of Bones. It just is. However, I freaking loved Clockwork Angel still. Like, I didn't care it was derivative of City of Bones, because City of Bones, like, okay, like, I understand why it's great. It just is not the best thing I've ever read. Like, let's be real. But Clockwork Angel, it just basically took the story that happened here and then did it better. So, while it is, repetitive, it is derivative, it's still dope and I'm here for it. Like, I would still read it again. Like, I love it. But let's be real, guys. They're the same story. They're the same freaking story. Number 10, Somebody to Love, a hero or heroine who does anything for their love. I went with Kestrel from The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutowski. Kestrel is an awesome heroine. She is very cunning and she's very strategic, and she will definitely go the distance to protect the boy she loves. His name is Aeron. And essentially in this world, Kestrel's people have conquered Aeron's people. And there's a lot of reasons why they're not allowed to be together. One of the facts of the matter is Aeron's people are trying to rebel. And Kestrel kind of helps that along. And without getting into like spoilers for the entire series, she does a lot in order to protect Aeron, even at the cost of her own happiness and her own freedom. She does a lot to protect Aeron. She's willing to be the bad guy to save the day. So that's why Kestrel's dope. She's a great character. I love her. Oh my gosh. Number 11, the show must go on. Tag some peeps. Okay. This has been out for a while, so I feel weird tagging people to do it. You know what? I can think of 2 people off the top of my head that I haven't tagged to do enough stuff, and one is Dog-Eared Paige, and the other is the Tiny Tea Set. I will link them down below. Check out their channels. They're awesome ladies, and you guys are tagged. Hey, you're tagged. Here's a tag. Also, since this has been around for a while, if you want to do this tag, you are officially tagged. Here's a freebie tag for you. Let me know in the comments down below, do you have any different answers for these questions? I want to know what you think. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!